2020, 2022, getting a software job was relatively easy. But now in 2024 and seemingly leading into 2025, it is becoming pretty damn hard. So whether you're already in the field or you're a student gearing up to sell your soul to LeetCode or Next.js at Vercel, I want to give you 3 quick points to determine if software engineering is even right for you. After all, it is pretty damn hard to get a job right now, and I would hate for you to get into the field and it to feel like a bunch of wasted effort. Point number 1 is to recognize that the gold rush is over. We don't have the streams of job after job where they're just desperate for workers and throwing stupid amount of money and allowing you to work from home and all of those things. It's just kind of dried up, and as more and more layoffs keeps occurring, competition is just going up, and low-key salaries are just going down. And I make this my very first point, because if money is the main motivating factor for you to become a software engineer, I genuinely would recommend that you consider something else and move on from this field. Seriously, if you were my friend and we're sitting across from another having some fun drinks or a coffee or whatever, and you said, hey, I got this bright idea, I want to become a software engineer, and I ask you why, and your very first answer is, well, it makes a lot of money. It's not for you, and I would actually recommend to my friend, to y'all, to just move on. And if money isn't the main priority, maybe you're already asking, all right, then what the hell is the main priority? And my simple answer is that you love problem solving. And not only solving problems, but solving problems with tech. And don't get me wrong, the money is actually really nice. But some of the most fulfilling times in my career based off of my experience are when I'm in the trenches for days, right? Debugging something 8 hours a day for 3 days straight, just to have some random shower thought and be like, oh wait, what if we tried that? And that's what solved the bug. Like literally, I get goosebumps talking about that right now. I remember days and days of bashing my head off the wall to figure out that bug and to come out on top victorious, beaten to hell, but at least coming out on top with a bug solved. And that was the most fulfilling part of my career. It wasn't the paycheck every 2 weeks. It wasn't the bonus at the end of the year. It was actually getting to solve complex problems in something that I love. And to be brutally honest with you, if that little story of me days in the trenches of solving bugs and bashing my head off the wall sounds miserable or terrifying to you, then move on from here, because this definitely is not the field for you. Point number 2 is that you are not a professional writer. You're not going to be spending most of your days doing code, and I think YouTube kind of glamorizes this a bit, but instead you're gonna be a professional reader, and I guess also a professional meeting goer. I think YouTube kind of destroys the image of what a software engineer actually does. You see day in the life videos of like, oh, I wrote this cute unit test, and then I went and got lunch, and then I went and worked out, and like, it looks cool for the video, but that's just not the reality of what most software engineers actually experience. You see, when you join the corporate world, you do a lot of other things than writing code. Most corporates are running agile, which just out of the gate means you already have hours of meeting every couple weeks or whatever your sprint cadence is, just for you to plan and talk about future work. And this isn't like an all-day event. You're still doing this on top of all of the other crap you have to do. Corporate trainings, staying on top of your work, trying to stay up on top of tech trends so that you understand where the technical field is going. And when it actually comes time to writing code, so you're often not dealing with custom code. You're just kind of maintaining and reading other code that exists. I'd argue that most engineers would be willing to make the claim that they spend more time reading documentation, other people's code, design specs, frickin' Teams messages than they do actually writing brand new code. And at least in my experience, this is what the good engineers are doing, spending more time reading than they are writing. And my last point here, and it's probably the biggest one for me, is that you actually need to be good and enjoy self-teaching. Let me level set with you. I've been a full-time developer for over 10 years now, and not a single time has somebody sat me down and properly taught me anything. And I'm not talking like linking up with a colleague so he could show me, hey, here's this little cool thing, or check out this logic over here. I'm not talking about that. What I mean is like, no shit, sit me down for a couple days or even like a week and actually teach me something. Like I would never say, yeah, my colleague sat down for a week and taught me JavaScript. That literally just will never happen. They don't have the bandwidth, they have their own shit to work on, and low-key, this is what they expect you to bring to the table, the ability to self-teach. So through YouTube videos, reading documentation, asking the right questions and not just like Google it questions, and getting your damn hands dirty. Go and break it and figure it out. Because like I said, you may, maybe you won't, but may get a few hours of dedicated time for them to walk you through the baseline to kind of push you on out the door and say, good luck, have fun. And it's just expected for you to come up to speed. So if those 3 points didn't scare you away from becoming a software engineer, then you might actually possess the right qualities and traits and personality tics to become a software engineer, and sounds like maybe a great one too. So after all that said, why should you become a software engineer? First and foremost, I'd be lying if I said the money isn't freaking awesome. I will still stand by if it's your primary point of motivation, then it's just not going to work out for you long term. But if it's not, and you are a problem solver, if you like puzzles and the money is awesome, it's a win-win, and you get to have a wonderful retirement that is super fulfilling. Another huge reason is we're pretty darn flexible. You know what work you have coming up for the next 2 weeks, assuming you're running some agile practice. And that is something that I really love. I love knowing what I'm gonna be working on. Of course, there's random fires, and of course, there's things that you're gonna have to get involved with. But if most of the time you have a pretty stable expectation of what you're gonna be working on, is really chill. I like to tell people the only time folks get upset or mad, and this isn't all things in life, the only time that people get upset or mad is when expectations are not met. And Agile gives you that clear expectation. But what really makes it worth it for me, and honestly is a huge reason why I'm still in this field today, is it is really, really fucking cool getting to work on tools and platforms and products that you actually see out in the wild. Getting to build things that real people are going to rely on and love and trust and tell their friends about. That is super, super freaking cool to me. And if that's something that resonates with you, then maybe you should be working on your own SaaS or your own side project, because I'm willing to bet it is incredibly fulfilling for you to go and build something and put it in the hands of another. And if it is, check out this video where I go over building a SaaS and how I would launch it in 90 days if I had to start all over. Oh, and I'm proud of you. Go and build something awesome, give back to the youth, and just enjoy your time as a software engineer, because it is a really freaking awesome career that I think you're gonna have a lot of fun. And with that, I will see you all next week. Peace.